Okay, so I wanted to check in with everyone. Most of you did submit your preliminary SketchUp models, and they look good. They look very good. That's kind of reflected in your grades. I had a little bit of a sliding scale. I will admit that the simpler the building, so the lounge at in Mexico, let me not mangle the language. That I'm looking for that really should be complete by now. And we'll go over it, but I'm really expecting that be done because it's pretty straightforward. Concrete slab, concrete walls, a little tricky with the way that curtain wall kind of zigzags in. And one thing I'm gonna demonstrate today is how we put some topography around it. So I'm gonna go over that a little bit. And I'm going to spend some time on the yard house as well, and how everyone was like struggling a little bit with finishing off the top floor walls. So I'm going to get into the modeling of that. And then I'll be spending, or actually, fortunately, Isa here is agreed to share his discoveries and how he has pretty much has an 80 to 90% complete model of the hut. So I've been spending some time trying to decipher how he did it, but I would rather hear it from him. So I'm going to turn it over at that point. So like I say, good. I mean, I would have liked a few people. I was just like, oh, I would have liked to have seen more progress. So, but generally, the results were quite good. And, people are referring to the recorded sessions, but, please use those if you're missing a beat or there's any issues you want to go over. Okay, so let me start with, get the right one before I share. Oh, one thing. Okay. So let me share my desktop. Share desktop. Okay. So you'll find on Canvas a new file I've posted that includes some really good basic furniture. Oh, so this is what you can see on the screen. And you don't need to get much fancier than this. These are good, relatively lightweight pieces of furniture. Here's a little exterior chaise and, tables. You can always break this apart. If you want to do a couch, let me just quickly demonstrate with this guy. So because it's a component, I can click on it. I'm going to copy it and just tap Option. On green axis. Okay. Hopefully that's on the ground. All right. And then I can click on scale. And I can start pulling this copy out so that I have a couch. And it's not bad. And then if I want to change the color of the couch, I double click. And I'll go to materials. And I want another color for the couch. Go colors named. A nice sunny yellow. Oh, actually, I need to go out. paint bucket. Oh, should work. Why is that not working? Select, paint. Okay, well, it's going to make both. I need to make this guy unique. Forgot that. Make him unique. Now I'm going to color it yellow. Yellow. Paint bucket tool. Come on. Here. There. It's yellow. So I wouldn't get too crazed with furniture. It's not really a significant feature of most of it. We mostly want it for scale. So I wouldn't really get too elaborate. Let the photographs of your respective buildings be a guide for about how much furniture you put in there. And you don't have to replicate what they have, but put in appropriate furniture. Yeah, that's about it for those guys. So you'll recognize these chairs, but we want to keep it pretty simple. Any questions? So this is particularly, I'm starting with the folks that are doing the lounge.
I would add that keep in mind you're going to be adding people probably to the interiors. So right. There's a good shot that chance that's going to happen in Photoshop. So when you're picking your furniture, think about your end product and putting people in seats, behind couches, wherever a person's going to fit in. So you can't start too early thinking about the end product.
Right. And yeah, and definitely err on the side of probably less furniture is good, but enough to give a feel and a scale for this. Okay. So let's take a look at the lounge. Okay, so the big thing with the lounge is that it's really important how it sits on the land. So this is my rather incomplete model that I've been demonstrating with, but it's at least got the floor, walls, and roof. And it overhangs a little bit on that downward slope. So let me, okay, so I maneuvered the section into place. So I took this and put it right against the side wall. And now with this, I'm going to trace it out with the line tool. Okay, line. And there are some little endpoints. I don't have to necessarily trace each one, but okay. And then I'm going to go straight down. And then I'm going to pick here. And I'm going to go straight back. I want to wait till it says I'm on the green axis. Come on. There. But it didn't close. This is something, what I was hoping was that it should have just closed. Let me just try that one more time. There. Okay. So I'm creating the profile of the land. For some reason, I had to go back over it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push-pull this out. And push-pull it in the opposite direction. So I'm giving it a substantial hillside to sit on. And you could make it even bigger. The one thing that I'm going to do a little manipulation with here is the, we're not really, I'm just doing an extrusion. Really, this is sitting out on a little kind of promontory. And what I want to do is I'm going to manipulate this extrusion just a little bit with the move tool. So I'm going to hit move. And I'm going to move this guy down. So this way, even though it's a little narrow, it gives people an opportunity to actually, they enter this way from this side. So I just did a little bit of a move. Now, to make this look not so clunky, I'm going to take this, something we haven't gone over yet, and I'm going to triple click, and then I'm going to soften smooth edges. And that brings up a dialog box, which is actually hidden by my zoom. Soften smooth edges. Here. Okay. So you see now that looks a lot smoother. All right. Let me just do a quick zoom extents. The lines are still there, but they've been obscured. So this looks a little bit more like topography. This is the only project that we're going to worry about the topography on. The others, we can pretty much just say, sit on a flat piece of land. I know the hut is on a very gentle hilltop, but we're not going to worry about it. It's very subtle. Okay, so the other thing that I want to do before I start generating views is I want to go into layers. And I want to start, once I'm finished, I don't need these underlays anymore, the CAD underlays. I could delete them, I could hide them, but the best move of all is to simply go in here under layers, and they're all the imported layers. So light, light medium, medium, dark medium, dashed line. They're all gone. Okay? They're not really gone. I've just turned off the layers, just like in AutoCAD. So these are the imported, these are the layers that imported when we brought the AutoCAD drawing in. So we'll want to do that, make those not visible. They're still there, but we're just turning them off. Okay, couple last things that folks didn't do. So you want to do this before you start setting up views. So the kind of key view of this building is looking up at it from below, and I probably should go over the curtain wall. And so I want to set up a scene. I could do it here. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a scene. This might be slightly different. I can't remember in the Mac version, but here, I'm going to add a scene. And I am going to rename it. Okay. So I do want to see, so everyone notes, and I'll put that in the assignment, I do want to see now scenes in your project because it's really important. It really helps to form, like, where are we going to look at this from? And it'll also give you a little bit of an out because if we don't actually see it, maybe we don't have to worry about modeling it that much. So let me see now. I want to do an interior, and I don't have my curtain wall in place. A couple people had, it was fine, but the one thing with the curtain wall is you actually do need a frame at the top as well as the bottom. So I didn't do that. I only got so far with this, and then you can just put a single sheet of glass in and then just move it back a little bit. So just a big plane. Let me do that. Okay. Here. Escape. And this shift. I don't have my underlay. That is my mistake. And I'm going to just do 6x. Push pull this guy. So these do need the frame at the top and the bottom. And then put this. And I actually don't think this bottom thing is a component. Nope, I didn't make it a component, but let me see what happens if I move this. Here we go. And then I apply material to it. Materials, colors. For the most part, you do your glass with glass and mirrors, and I prefer just gray glass. Come on. Huh, it's weird. Oh, it's because I'm in schematic view. I can't see it. Let me turn that off, back. There we go. All right. So the one thing that's missing is the top frame. I could just try to copy that from down here, but I don't think I made it a component. No. Okay. My bad. Okay, and then I want to set up a view from the interior looking out. So I'm going to do a view from here. Turn around. This will be more interesting when it's completed. Oh. And then I want to do one more thing for interior views. Always remember for interior views, camera, field of view. And this is a little thing from photography, is I want a wider angle view. Let me see, I gotta move this toolbar again. Come on. Focal length 57 millimeters. We want a fewer millimeters, a wider angle. I'm going to type 28. That's more like it. So this isn't really complete yet, but this is the view. This is a view that I'm going to want. So I'm going to save this by going to Scene, Add, Rename, Interior. Okay. So everyone's clear. So I want to see 2 to 3 scenes, separate views in your SketchUp model. And we're going to make it do, want to give you time and ruin your Thanksgiving weekend, that your final SketchUp model is due a week from today at the beginning of class. Okay, so we'll post that. So I want to see the completed models and the scenes set up. And then we're going to take all these ingredients, we're going to go into Photoshop, and we're going to do what we did previously. Okay.
Michael, can I ask a question? And I might have missed it. You might have addressed it, but in the way of materials, applying materials, how much do you want from them?
Good question. I would like you to apply materials. Now, you can do it either way. You could do it solid colors, or you could actually try to do textures. Now, this guy is pretty good because it's all, the mullions are black, the exterior is black, the interior is painted white. I think the floor is a gray concrete slab. I have to take a look at my pictures for this. Okay, wrong building. Let's go back. Study. Potsdam. Okay. So yeah, so it's concrete, painted black on the outside, painted white on the interior. The glass frames are black. It's mostly a black and white building. Oops, I didn't mean to double click that. So anyway, this gives us a good kind of overview. So we're not going to worry about replicating the exact furniture that's here, but it gives you a sense of what would be in this place. There doesn't seem to, they must have done a value engineering and cut out the fireplace, because I don't see a fireplace. Although at least one person had a really nice, Hector had a really nice fireplace. I want to know actually how he made it.
It was a lot of hard work.
I can imagine, because we haven't gone over those maneuvers that you had to do for making a shape like that. I was like, I was almost like, so congratulations, but it must have been a crazed amount of time to get that to work. Okay, let's see, let's go back. I just want to see what else. Yeah, white painted concrete for the interiors. I just want to see if we get an interior view with a little bit more of the floor slab. No, we don't. We really don't. Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like it's basically painted concrete. I mean, unfinished, bare concrete floor slab. So, yeah, same interior and exterior. So we can go to materials. Okay, materials, back to SketchUp. Anyway, materials, asphalt concrete, blacktop old. Here we go. Polished concrete new, why not? Okay. And then for the rest of this is colors named. White. And I'm just going to paint. So you get the gist of this. Let's go back to, and I've made, and I really hope if anything is Mr. Stern like pounds you over the head about turning things into components, make things into components, because that's your best way of controlling your computer model in SketchUp. And actually, when you build complex computer models and other modeling software that's more sophisticated than SketchUp, you want to put different objects that belong together, put them together. So my floor, my walls, and my roof are all components. So it's going to take me a little longer to paint them. I'm not going to do every surface, but maybe not complete black, but let me. And okay. So this is kind of what we're aiming for. I don't have my doors and all my windows, and I haven't completed the glass curtain wall. So that's the lounge in Mexico. All right, any questions from folks about this, for the folks that are doing this one? Speak up or forever hold your peace. No, just kidding. If something comes to you, let me know. Oh, also, I extend an offer is if you're, we all deserve a little bit of a break before we head into the end of the semester. I'll put that is if you just want to send me your SketchUp modeling progress, if you're having problems, I'll review them on Sunday afternoon. I was just looking at my calendar. I don't have anything Sunday afternoon. So if you have stuff you'd like me to take a look at or you're having problems, the best thing to do is shoot me an email and attach your SketchUp file, and I'll take a look at it. So yeah, get it to me like by noon on Sunday. And that will give me time on Sunday to see if I can help you. And so that's just an open offer. Okay?
I do have one question
Yes, Hector.
in regards to the coloring of like the flooring and stuff.
Mhm.
I did mine a little bit different. Um, I did different flooring in different rooms. Is that okay?
That's okay, although that doesn't look like what's actually there. It looks like it really is one. We don't have a lot of good interior photos, but it looks like it really is just a slab on concrete. I mean, just the finished concrete slab. I
So
mean, maybe there's something different in the bathrooms, but the principal spaces, you're allowed, I'll tell you what, Hector, you're allowed a little license.
okay.
Your artist, modeler, computer modeler license, you're allowed. What the heck? I think it would be better if there were actually somewhat different floors. I find I don't particularly like concrete slab floors, unfinished concrete slab floors are finished, but so yeah, do what you like.
All right.
That's okay. But I would stick with the overall black and white scheme. I mean, that's kind of a distinctive characteristic of this building for the exterior.
In one of the photos, it kind of looked like one of the walls was green or something.
Oh, well, let's just take a quick look. Oh,
In the top,
could be in this view. I think it might just be a reflection of the vegetation, though.
uh,
Maybe. Hey, if you want to do a light green wall, I won't stop you. I think it would be a little bit of a relief, all this black and white. It's a little tough. But I think that I'm speculating we're seeing a reflection. We may not, that may actually be painted a light green.
it kind of looked, I don't know.
Let's take a closer look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I looked at another view, and let me just, yeah, looking more closely, that back wall of the bedroom, that is painted a light green. Yeah. And there doesn't seem to be a fireplace.
Right.
But it'd be, you see, and yours to be so much better than the one they actually built. So, that's good. But thanks for the observation. I think you're right. That is painted a very light green. Great. Okay. Let me get to the yard house, and then we'll plunge into the hut. Okay, window, yard house. Okay, so the one thing was that I already set up a scene. This is kind of a classic, this is a scene that really describes this. I did the kitchen island really fast. I made it 36 inches high, and I just did this. I went off the photograph here. This photograph. Yeah, this guy. And The nice thing is once you've established the model, you may want to do more than one view of this interior. This is kind of nice looking all the way across the space to the exterior. But the one thing, particularly for SketchUp, is let's get the sun angle so that the sun is coming in to this, and that would be fairly early in the day. So here you can see my setting is in May at sunrise, nearly sunrise. And that's right up here. And then what would be another good view? Perhaps an interior looking across. And let me walk a little bit. Whoa. Oh, except that's showing me the unfinished edge of the stair. Maybe I don't like that view. I'm not as thrilled with that view. Let's switch instead. I'm going to reposition myself out in the courtyard. Nope. All right, now position myself in the courtyard. And I'm going to back up. Maybe not that far, this far. So I kind of like that. I think this would be another really good view to take. And so let me go. I'm going to add a scene. Rename it courtyard. Okay. And then a last little thing, like of the model. Okay. You know, the exterior to the street's kind of boring, so I'm not too worked up about it. What I did was let me just pull this and pan over. So I built these walls on top. Let me view, edit, unhide all. Huh. Edit, unhide all. Why didn't that? Because there's some lines that I've hidden here. So I just built this, and then I hid the lines so they didn't show up. But I don't think this, the exterior views of this, unless we did a really cool lit night view, which is probably beyond the amount of time we have left, isn't so interesting. And for the gates, I would also suggest that you do them in a really dark glass. Let me just show you. So they're like, look like they're little louvers. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into color. Glass. And I'm going to mix up a new color. Duplicate. Translucent. Dark gray glass. And I'm going to edit this. And I'm going to make it a lot more opaque. So I have to actually paint it with that. it's really a set of very fine louvers, but if that's what you want, do that if that's what you want. I honestly cut some corners here. Let me just do a zoom all. Unless we go up the stairs, we're not going to see these windows, so I didn't bother making them. I mean, I did put a floor in here because we might see below. And there is some shelves and built-in refrigerator in here below this. So that would be a good thing to finish this model. Again, what we want to do is we want to budget the stuff that we actually see. And a lot of the things we don't really see, we don't need to get them super detailed. If that's, you get that. Like, so our views, this kitchen lower area, that's kind of important. Maybe I'll get a chance to demonstrate how to render this. I think this will render really nicely in Lumion. So that's this guy. And I would also get a third view. What it would be is up to you. All right. Any questions on the yard house? Quite a bunch. Everyone's thinking about Thanksgiving. It's okay. All right. So the yard house. Now for the one that is the most, I'm actually going to bring Issa's up. And I just set up some scenes. I didn't name them.
Do you think, Michael, excuse me, do you think we should take a break beforehand, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break right now, if that's okay by everybody.
Yeah, if we don't get to the CAD, that could go either way, I would say. Just the review. So, I mean, take your time, but yeah, why don't we just take a quick break maybe?
Great.
All right.
So 10 minutes, let's say that's 5 minutes to 3.
Sounds good.
All right. I will. And go back to sharing my screen. Okay, so with Issa's model, which is nearly done, and he did like a really cool thing with, he created a scene where he'd actually took the roof cladding off so we could see the underlying structure. I added a couple scenes. Here's with the roof on, same angle. And then an interior view. So really, I'm very impressed. This is nearly complete. The only thing that's missing are in these first 2 bays here, there are the low windows in here. And it's otherwise ready to move in. So and one of the things I've seen in examining this model is just about everything is a component. A few things aren't, but mostly everything that needs to be turned into a component is a component. So, for instance, the ceiling here is a component, the walls are a component, floor slab, which we did last time, is a component. Okay, so what I want to do is, Issa, is tell us how you got here. And I'm going to ask you to share your screen.
Okay. Let's see.
Right.
There it is. should I start?
Well, I'm so rude. I'm still eating my apple. Why don't you start with where we left off and how you made the decisions to complete this model. So what did you do? Everybody was following the lessons. We got the A-frame in, we got the floor, we got this front facade, we got that in. But then you took it and completed it. There's a couple things like that you still need to do that were kind of basics, but I'll pick on those just a little bit later.
Okay. So I think the first thing I did really was the A-frame, as you said, like the basic parts, like the beams and everything.
Mhm.
And then I put the metal kind of roofing on it. I know we got. Are we gonna do the little divots in them?
No, we'll just apply a
No.
material that's corrugated metal.
Okay.
It's-
So
yeah,
I just made rectangles from like these points right here on the beams, like this one to
right.
somewhere along here, and then I would make another one from this one there, and I would cut it in to match, so it like doesn't overlap. Like these are all different rectangles, I think.
But they're all in the same plane, so you can actually delete those lines that go between them now.
Yeah, I could. I kind of like them though.
I like them. They're
I might
not,
delete them
they're not
later.
there. They're not actually.
Yeah.
So you can erase those because they're not really in the.
Yeah. That's actually like one of the biggest things that was a part of the building the walls inside, but I'm gonna get to that later. So.
So you did the roof. You went with.
Yeah, I did the roof, and then I tried to get inside. So I made this first, the front thing.
And we did that together.
Yeah, and when I did the walls, I kind of hid this. I think you brought the plan up though, right?
Yeah, I did bring the plan up.
Yeah, you brought the plan up, so you wouldn't have to hide it. But I basically would take. Man, it's gonna be hard to get in here. So. Okay. So you have a line like a box right here, kind of, and that's part of the first part of the wall. And I would take the line from the plan and like draw it up to get like the reference. And leave it there for a little bit, bring it up, and it's gonna have the line. So I would attach it to the part right here.
Okay.
And kind of make like a cutout of it, and then I would extrude it to whatever point.
Pulling it towards us.
Yeah, and I'll bring it to like as far as it comes. Okay, so it comes all the way out here. So yeah, I would bring it all the way out here to this point, and I would bring it up again, and then I would do all of this. I'll do the same thing for all of the inside walls and everything.
Great.
Basically, just cutting it and extruding it to a point, and just to like bring it all the way around, basically. And then I had the walls. I had the shape of the walls in the plan, and then to bring it up to the ceiling, I would like bring those same lines from wherever. I would draw it on top of the ceiling, I mean on top of the wall, and then I would extrude it somehow. Like it takes a while because you have certain shapes, it would like stop you from extruding anymore.
Right.
So I would have to move it, do different techniques and everything. Like I could even like take like a rectangle and I could extrude it like past the ceiling. And then you can draw on the A-frame, so you can make like a line on it.
Right.
I say like, oh, I don't know, like that, and then I could take this whole part right here and basically delete it.
Right.
By extruding it backwards, and that's basically how I got like all the the vertical shapes in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got that, it was pretty much just making everything else. It's like getting into the details. It wasn't really like anything technical, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty much it for the most part. And then I got to the flooring. I actually did the floor last,
Oh, really?
so it wouldn't stick to everything that I was building. Yeah, like once I got all of the walls, I would make that a component so it didn't stick to everything else, and then I'll
Right.
keep drawing on top of it.
Yay. Somebody got that. The
Yeah.
components. Why you build with components? Yeah. That was what I noticed.
Yeah, that is like the most important thing, really.
Yeah, everything in his
'Cause
model is a component for the most part. I mean, I found like one or two things that weren't, but they didn't matter that much.
yeah. Next to using the push-pull tool, I was doing a lot of moving. So I would like grab a whole line in a component, and I would move that to where it needs to be. Like that's how I did the walls mostly. Like I would take the end part and pull it up to the ceiling.
Mhm.
So it would grab the whole side of the wall basically.
I
And
see.
then when I got to the floor, I did like this one rectangle for the whole thing, and then I cut it, and then I put all the other pieces into it. 'Cause at first when I tried to do it, it was like I put the lines in it too early, and I was trying to push pull it, and it was taking the whole thing. That's not what I wanted. So yeah, one of the other things I did too. So when I made this interior ceiling,
Hmm. Yeah,
so
it tells
when
you.
I did this, I drew a line in the. What'd you say?
Yep, go, please go ahead.
Okay. Uh, I basically drew a rectangle in the middle of the beams. So at first I drew a line in the middle from the midpoints right there to the bottom. And then I drew a rectangle along those lines.
Hmm.
And then I made that a component separate from the rest of the thing. So it had like it kind of blurs this line right here, like separating the beam from the ceiling. So I went on that and I drew the line so you can see the difference. Because I don't like when it like blends into it. Like when you have two components, they don't like interact with each other in the
Right.
program. So you have to draw the line so you can see that difference.
Good. Yeah, I didn't mention that I did that in the yard house as well, because that's what happens when you have two components that just go past each other. They may not, there may not be a line between the two if they just run through each other.
Hmm.
Sometimes that isn't significant,
Yeah.
but in this case, it's important to see that.
Hmm. Yeah, I did that with the ceiling and the walls with the beams. And actually, it's pretty important too. When I did the walls, I was kind of bringing it up to the beams because I didn't have the ceiling yet. But I had to go back in after I made the ceiling to connect it to the wall. So
Okay.
I would do this. I would do this part before you do the walls for sure.
The ceiling.
It's pretty simple. It's just like rectangles along the beams, yeah, and then do the walls. Hmm. Oh, this is cool too. So when I did these walls, I didn't have like I would just leave the door opening completely open,
Mhm.
and then to get the doorway, I had to go back in and draw. I drew like a rectangle. I think I forget how high this was. I think it's connected to this line over here. Yeah, it's like completely parallel, adjacent, or whatever you want to call it. So I would draw a line cutting through like I did before, and I would extrude it to the other side of the wall. And then like you just delete the line that's here. It would be a line like right there. You just delete it, and it looks like it's one wall.
No, it looks great.
I think
That's an
that's
important point that
everything.
in Design Studio 2, we talk about that a lot. The window heights and door heights matching up. That's very common practice. It's doesn't have to be that way. You could definitely prove everybody wrong, but if there's nothing else going on, a bigger plan, aligning door and window heads,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, this one actually isn't the doors, it's the opening. So
It's a glass.
I looked at the pictures for a lot of what I drew. So like this right here, I didn't have any idea because it's not on the plan how high it is. So look at the picture, and I just made it twice as long as it was tall. So you have the length of it on the plan. You have this right here, and I just matched it up with the door. That's kind of how it looked on the picture. So
Well, that's good. And that makes sense for this project, that everything is pretty tightly aligned, one thing with another. So everything, these alignments would make sense. Like the lounge, that's like, well, there's the reinforced concrete structure, there's the glass, it's a little rougher. This, everything is really kind of thought out and aligned and, working together. The one thing now that you've got this pretty much completed, you have to put in the glass. And you also, the pins, or I wouldn't call them footings, but you can just edit one of the A-frames. I mean, I can show you, I have the model you submitted, but how they're actually supported and connected into the ground. There's a little, basically a metal post that comes up. So right now they're floating.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
So you just have to do that. But if they're all, each of the A-frames is a component, then you just have to do it on either side, and then it'll all replicate. I mean, I can show you what that show folks what that looks like. But this is really excellent. Now, what are you thinking about materials? Are you going to keep it white and render it in Photoshop, or are you going to try to apply some material?
I'm definitely gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it here.
Okay.
With the textures and everything.
It's good. I would almost encourage you. No, you don't have to save a copy this way. The one other little thing is I would lift, because we don't actually see those lines. Like right now, the roof is in exactly the plane of those horizontal pieces, the purlins. And actually, I would lift the roof off slightly. Just give it about an inch.
Like a push and pull?
No,
or just move it.
Just move it. Move it up an inch. Yeah. Yeah, and then type 1. There you go. Looks great.
Nice.
And then you can apply corrugated. There's under metals, I think there's corrugated metal. So really nice. This was the most complete model that I received of any of them, and it's on the trickiest of the 3 projects. So for those who are lacking faith, it can be done. Lisa did a beautiful job with this. I just, came in with a few modifications. Really, about all you're missing, the sidewalls have low windows, so those need to get in there. You need to put in glass, and you need to basically the anchors for the A-frame into the footings in the ground. And you're done.
Not bad.
Ethan, could I ask you a question or two?
Mhm.
How many hours you put into it? About?
I wasn't counting. I was kind of like working on it like one day I just worked on it all day. I was kind of in the zone.
So like,
and that's where most of it came.
is that
I'd say
like, yeah, just guess.
It's probably like 10 around there somewhere. It was a lot.
Yeah, looks like it. It looks fantastic. And just curious, did you get a school computer?
No.
No.
A loaner? No. Okay, it's moving nicely. I was just wondering. I thought there was talk that you might get one, but okay, good. So SketchUp seems to run well on your computer, I'd say, right? Yeah. Looks good.
Yeah,
Good work.
fast.
Yeah.
And
Good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really, really nicely done, nicely crafted. And there is a craft, I think you folks are all picking this up, that there is a craft to digital modeling. There's stuff you can let go. This one is the most unforgiving of this. Like there's a lot of stuff you can let go in because the structure is articulated, but you know, so that's budgeting for this guy is, you know, about 8 to 10 hours over the next week. And maybe you'll get in the zone like Isa and you'll just knock it out. So great, thank you. I was just like, maybe to switch back. Any questions for Isa from the students?
Just to kind of follow up, you were kidding, but kind of kidding, but getting in the zone. I think there's something really to be said for like doing long stretches of work, trying to do a model like that. I just think it's more efficient. Like rather than sitting down 4 times, if you could really sit down and put an 8-hour stretch in, I think I don't know. It's hard to concentrate maybe, but I think it could be a more efficient way of working than nibbling at it. Just wanted to add that.
Yeah, it's I find with certain things that I do, like computer modeling, I really find, yeah, I can really get into it, and you know, time can go by, and I can really get it. You know, it really varies. You know, each of us has our own styles, but yeah, I think that was, you know, really good that you just sat down and really worked it out. And a lot of thought went into this, a lot of strategizing and really thinking it through. So really good. There's really just about no problem with the craft at all. And a handful of things that just need to be added in that are missing.
Yeah. And the next model will probably take 6 hours. It'll probably be so much quicker.
Yeah.
You learn so much on the job at this point, it slows you down, but yeah, a lot of good lessons learned, I'm sure, but quicker next.
Yeah, and this one, you know, for the folks that went for the glory of this hut, you're really like, you are going to spend more time on it, but you're really going to know SketchUp really well, or it's going to, or you're going to go crazy. It's going to be, but either way. So, very nice work.
Combination of both.
Hmm?
So it's a combination of both going crazy and learning a lot.
Yeah. So, but
and also just last thing I'll add is just on its way to be a great portfolio piece. Definitely. It's
Yeah.
this model. Yeah. Just looking at it, seeing the whole hut in SketchUp. It looks really, really sharp.
yeah, I mean, it's so compelling, but you can actually change the face settings. I was almost thinking like you might even want to save this as it is with no real materials applied except for the glass. And just, you know, that could be really good as it, you know, for diagrams. And then you could, you know, save a new one of this with the materials applied. But I'm ready to move in.
Yeah.
Great, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me just share this. So here is just like with this, like that nobody's perfect. Let me just share my screen. So I started setting up, like I said, I started setting up some views. And we had this exterior with the roof off, which I really liked. And then the same scene with the roof on. And then there is a material in here. Whoops, where, oh, no. Metal, dark, no, corrugated. Let's see, metal. Here it is, corrugated. And that's in the wrong orientation, so I may have to duplicate and edit. And actually, this is a little beyond. It's like to rotate it. Come on. You see the editing of materials. This would do, but it's actually, the corrugations are actually horizontal, not vertical. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that.
I think you're right.
Oh, sorry, I'm having an abundance of toolbars. The Zoom toolbar keeps bopping into my. So let me just take a quick look at Bridge. And no, they run vertical. That makes sense. So that's correct. My mistake. Oh, I guess then the one other thing you're missing is the chimney. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There's the materials, but yeah, the chimney needs to come in. All right, so that's good. That's what I had wanted to go over today regarding what remains with SketchUp. So
I guess for the fireplace on the hut, we're gonna try and draw that, right? I tried, but it doesn't look very good, but.
well, yeah, you can just do a circle and extrude it and a little
Mhm.
box. To actually do it exactly like the one there, maybe a little too much and may not even be really necessary.
Mhm.
Take a look at it. Here, yeah, a little box.
Okay.
And then just extrude, take a circle and extrude it up right through the roof.
Okay.
And you can just let it run right through.
That's what I did. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, that'll look good. Okay. Yeah, so nice. Great. Well, that I think that's what I have for me for today. So do get your and then a week from today, the finished models with scenes. I should name the scene. You should name the scenes as well.
For the scenes, should we do like one that shows the roof off and the roof on?
Yeah.
And then an interior scene?
The
For the
interior
house.
scene and maybe another view. You know, once you have a model this nice, you know, a front view like this would be really good. And, you know, a view like this, the 3/4 view. If you don't get this back part quite right, you know, do it on the other side. Let's, you know, that's the advantage. Once you have a good model, we can look at it from a number of different angles. So that's, yeah, that's what I would recommend. So, yeah, so we have to get these guys pinned to the ground. We have to get these windows in here. And then materials applied, but you're done. You're pretty much done. Fireplace. So this is like, yeah, 80, 90% complete. So someone can really enjoy their holiday weekend. Lisa. All right. I'm going to stop sharing.
You want to take a 10-minute tour of the CAD drawings real quick?
Let's just do that.
Yeah. Any questions about SketchUp or anything else before we do? These look good. I just glanced at them for the first time and they look really good. So we should take a look. All right. So you have plenty. So SketchUp is the order of the day for, and it's a Thanksgiving tradition, really. SketchUp should be.
It is.
That wasn't a topic in this class.
You could see the drawing.
Yeah, looks great.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm not really a 10-minute tour, and maybe if anything, just talking about getting ready to move them over to InDesign. Right. They're going to end up on a board. So opening them up in Photoshop and or not opening them up in Photoshop, possibly opening them up in Illustrator and getting them ready to go over to InDesign.
Right.
Yeah, if they don't need to go into Photoshop, if they're going to be black and white drawings, there's no need to rasterize them.
Rasta man.
Rasterize, to make it a raster image where it has pixels. Right now it has no pixels.
Hey man. Hey man.
Rasta.
These
Rastafari.
look good. They look good. You know, you just glance at them. You see the walls, you see the windows, the doors, the line weights are looking good.
Oh, and the last one, though, Dave, what about the line weight for the glass and the window wall?
Yeah, it could be darker. Yeah. Yeah, the edge of the deck is darker than the window that it's cutting through. So those two could almost be,
Transposed.
yeah. This would be a little light for the edge perhaps, but yeah. So without even zooming in, I could kind of see the darkness. I could definitely see that this is lighter than this. Maybe the hatch could be a little lighter. Ooh, yuck, yuck.
What happened there?
Glass hatch.
Ooh.
I gotta,
Oh, no, we don't want that
yeah, that has to go away.
because they're beautiful drawings.
Yeah,
That hatch has to go
yeah, Tao, that's you.
because they're great. The drawings are excellent, but
Yeah.
you don't need to have glass.
Little alarm went off there.
I was reading a comment about something. The glasses, like, let me read a comment. I was following the comment in my last one.
One of my comments?
Yeah, let me.
It's never a good idea to read back comments from an instructor.
That's good to know.
It's like, I remember you said something about the windows. So I was like, okay, if the window's not showing, then I'll put the window hatch on.
No, well, yeah, find the comment. I mean, we could look at whatever I said, whatever we were
Well,
looking.
I can see what you meant actually. On his section here, he's forgotten on the middle line that shows the glass.
The middle line, the
Where
what?
the other side, where the cut is.
Oh, glass
On
here.
top.
Oh, yeah, the piece of
Yeah,
glass.
but on the top one, because I
Oh.
think that, yeah, right there.
Yeah, that's it.
You
Just
said
need the
window
line.
glass is missing in sections, so I put that
Yeah,
in.
that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's good job. Ruby.
Literally one line over there.
Right here. The
Wait,
glazing.
that's a window?
No, I don't think it's there, actually.
Oh,
There's no
really?
window.
I think there's no window where this is cut.
Ah,
Just cut
okay.
further back.
Okay.
I put the window hatch in because you said in the comment the window section is missing. So,
This is what I was referring to. Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Romina and I were thinking alike, but we were wrong.
I think
Yeah, because I have it on mine so I have to delete it now.
no, it's just they're just not cut there. It's just cut further back.
Yeah. Well, but no, I should have. I mean, there's a sink or there's something there, so that should have. that should have informed me that there's probably not latched onto a window. Unless it's beyond, unless it was
It is
beyond.
beyond.
That is beyond still?
I think it is. I'm
Well,
guessing. It's just
Let's go to
below.
the plan. That's
Somewhere in there.
yeah, we need a section mark. That's what I should
You
have
do need a
said.
section mark.
I should have said,
We're a little lost.
where's that? Is that the desk coming through here?
Yeah, it's cutting through the desk.
Cutting through here. Yeah, section marks have to happen. That could happen in InDesign if need be. But if you got to get rid of this hatch, so you got to go back to CAD one more time.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that'll be easy.
Yeah.
And the
Everybody,
drawings.
yeah. Section marks now or in InDesign.
Okay.
If they're in InDesign, they're floating around and you got to be careful and make sure you group them. So when things get moved around, you know, that's the thing about too much annotation in or Illustrator. You know, you guys know how to use Illustrator now. That's where I would probably do it, right, Michael?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to get rid of that. You have to get rid of the hatch. But besides that, everybody else could probably just jump into Illustrator. Section marks, you could move things around and begin to really think now about the board, what it's going to look like on a same size board. Are we going big? 24 by 36 now?
24 by 36, yes.
Yeah. So we could set up that board, drop this on, and start thinking about, are these things going to remain like this, or are they going to maybe the plan's going to be up above on a tall board, right? Maybe plan up here, and I should draw them as triangles down here. So now's the time to start thinking about dropping these things onto the board and seeing which direction it might be going. All right, I said 10 minutes. I'm going to keep it moving.
But really beautiful drawings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Still dark. This hatch on the back is a little dark, definitely dark. And Poche, this is Hector.
Yes.
Dark walls, right? Poche the walls. If you're going to poche, we're going to have dark section. This should all be dark. They should be consistent.
To be filled.
Yeah, make them black.
Okay.
And make, if this is a section, make it black. Either all or none. Don't be inconsistent. You set
Well, the
these.
bottom one is an elevation.
Oh, okay, that's different then. Then this might be really dark for an elevation, inside and out.
Hmm.
That looks like it was cut. That's why that your darks are too dark. They could be brought down a little bit. But I would poche all the walls, or get this line weight you got down here, get it up here.
Right.
One or the other. Yeah. So just fine tuning. And I'm not going to write this all in the comments. So if you want me to, in general, this is all good work and, you know, and whatnot, but I'm not going to write everything. So take note now, or when we return, if you want to talk one-on-one, we could do that. These look nice. I'm going to keep
They
moving
look
along.
really good.
Yeah. See, that's a nice window right there
Yeah, that's reads really well.
with the two frames. This shouldn't be hatched, this one, right? We said these walls, these two, because those are courtyard walls that are below the second floor, actually. So that's important for Joyce. That this is making it look like you have 2-story walls in your courtyard, like you got a big fortress, right? This second floor plan would be cut here and looking down. So these are beyond, not hatched and not hatched. But looking sharp. Yeah, now I got.
Yeah, they've become very readable. Yeah, so very nice. These are good.
Yeah, we could see the dark area, and we've discussed this issue, so we'll not discuss the missing window. Dash lines look good. from this distance, the hatch still looks a little dark,
Too dark.
especially since you didn't poche the walls, but the walls look good. The windows look good, but I'd say if anything, just the hatch. Both hatches are still a little dark, but everything else looks good from this distance. So we got to get rid of all the produced by Autodesk stuff. Your name doesn't have to go to the board. The same information has to make its way into InDesign, but obviously not attached at the same location. And then so start thinking, is it going to be a horizontal board or a vertical board? You know, this is a very strong vertical element.
Mhm. Also, John, you get another point. You've actually turned the north arrow to be north. Just folks, in the two projects, from what we can tell, north is up. We don't know in the yard house which way north is. So I would just leave it off because we don't know.
House is kind of mysterious. So it's going to need Photoshop, or it's going to have to go, yeah. So we're going to need some trees, something to. And why some people are drawing 2 lines? Is that in
It was in
the original?
it was in the original drawing. Yeah.
Yeah. Might. Can they add trees in Illustrator if that's all they wanted to do? They could, right?
Yeah, they could.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's either Illustrator or Photoshop.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
this
I
needs
could do it in Illustrator
this needs some foliage.
because
And I
that's the
don't-
real feature of this.
Yeah. And I don't know what the second line, like that's just because they did it, now it's looking funny. It's looking like an offset line. So that might have to go away wherever you go. So we should talk. This is Paul, I believe. We should talk about the plan for this. Probably going into Photoshop for trees. Lyric. Still line weight issues. That one.
Wait, I'm sorry. Actually, this is the wrong file. This was the file from last week. I'm sorry. That's the wrong thing. It's refixed. The one you told me to fix. It was dark and the dashed lines wasn't seen. I'll send that in immediately.
Whose is this?
Abdullah?
So looks good. Still got this hatch going into the bathroom though. Is he here today? Yeah. Abdullah, you got the hatch going into the bathroom. You need a line here. And these things could be added if it goes to Illustrator. This isn't dashed. That needs to be taken care of.
Yes.
I think you need to open this up in CAD one more time. It looks really sharp. It's just a couple of errors here. And then like, and this for everybody, like these section marks, you got them cutting through the window on this side, and then they're not even touching the building on this side. I'd be consistent. If they come in just 6 inches beyond the wall, I would pick these up and move them so they're coming in the same amount. Or move them both out a little bit, which could also be fine. And I'd even make the lengths the same length. You know, why is this length 50% longer than this length? Getting picky now, but why not?
Why not?
It's Thanksgiving. Dash lines and yeah. So, and also if there's something written in here, it looks like there is, we're never going to see it. Right there, B1. I mean, I'm zoomed in like 1000% to see that. So you have to, you're either going to open this in, this might not have to go to Photoshop. It might go into Illustrator and then into InDesign. We have to see how big this thing is and how big each of these images is, because right now it's super small.
Yeah.
Like if this is, how big is this sheet, Abdullah? You there? Don't tell me he's not here. Well, he's gonna have to watch the recording. All right, anyway, point being, and I'm not gonna dwell on it if he's not here. Yeah, we have to see how big these
I was
are.
talking, but I forget that.
Oh,
I mute
okay,
myself.
good.
Yeah, I said I think is 850 millimeters. I think.
You're gonna have to translate that for me. Inches.
Yeah, I tried to print it with inches, but I think was too small. I didn't know how I can do it with inches.
Well, basically what I'm saying is when you get to the 24 by 36 inch board, we have to see how big these things are. And we have to talk about, is it going to be opened in Photoshop or is it just going to go through Illustrator? We don't have to solve it all right now, but once we return, and you could open this up in Photoshop and just see. If you open this thing up in Photoshop, this, this plan has to fit on a 24 by 36 board eventually, right? 24 by 36. So this plan needs to be 6 by 6 inches or something like that. So everybody has to be cognizant of that. If you could avoid Photoshop, that's fine. And I think you can because you got all of this nice entourage from CAD. So this might just go into Illustrator, but we just have to make sure that when it gets to InDesign, it's of the appropriate size. That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right. I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Just because it looks like it's printed, like everything's very small on the page, but it's a nice looking page. But these goofy hatches, I don't know about them.
Yeah, those come from the drawings, which were goofy.
Yeah. So if it goes wherever you open it, maybe we'll get rid of this hatch. I mean, maybe it could be solid, or maybe you could trim this thing. If it opens in CAD, we might trim this thing, make it half its thickness. It's kind of just an odd way to, it makes the earth kind of look like a shell or something.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people get very bold and make all of this black. That could be too much. That could overwhelm the image. But this convention that you guys are following is kind of goofy, I think. Again, those are the ones that look like they were kind of spit out of a rendering program and not really prepared for real presentation. All right, moving along. Looking good. Yeah, they look nice. Romina's. And you have the side. Look at her side elevations. Aren't they nice?
Right. That's nice. Yeah, get them all on the board.
Yeah. See, this is a nice ground. That's on the thick side, on the very thick side, but it works, I think. It looks a little cut up here, Romina, at the bottom. Something looks weird. Looks like
Yeah,
double.
it's the same hatch. I don't know why it's different in both, but I'll check it out.
Oh wait, no. As I zoom in, it's not one line. Oh, you have like
Should I make that a solid hatch or?
No, I'm talking about your ground line is a double line. Or no, that's the deck. Is that the deck? No, that's the ground line. Yeah, why are there two lines down here?
Who knows by now?
Not the answer. It looks good from here. From this distance, it looks good. I can't see the two lines.
Okay.
So one line, maybe even a little bit thicker, maybe not this thick, but that's kind of what it should look like.
Okay.
If you trim off like 33%, that might be okay. It should be the darkest line on the page, which it is here. If anything, it's a little too dark, but it's
okay.
But it's nice. It's a nice base for the drawing, which is very just looks great. And that's for everybody. So here, right here, we got a dark line across the bottom. Get us the dark line, and you could put your viewports on no print layer, so we don't see these viewports.
I always do that. I don't know why.
Def points, if nowhere else. Plan looks good. Yeah, they look nice. Very good. We got to
Now
try to,
fix the windows that we
oh, yeah,
of the section.
yeah. We should try to get Miles to attend our final presentation. He'll be proud of you guys.
Mhm.
This looks nice too. Nice line weights. Nice contours. And so there's Kira into Photoshop.
Looks like it.
Yeah. I'd be a little, just check the resolution. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. No, it looks fine now. Some of it's just display on my monitor or, but so again, this is for everybody. So everybody's putting in A1. I would not do the A1. Because these are you know, presentations. They don't, it's a single board, and there are only 2 drawings. There's no other section on the board. So you don't really need to give it a number letter designation, I would say. If we see section marks, we're going to know that this is what we're looking at. And this is for everybody. When you open it in Photoshop, you could increase the canvas size by 1 inch or 2, and that will get us off the edge of the board there. And if you're in Photoshop, remember the PNG, if we get a transparent background and we get it out as a PNG, then we could see through it and then we don't care. And the good thing about that is, like, if your board had maybe a tint to it, for instance, our plans would just show up without the white block. So when we leave Photoshop, it'd be nice not to have the option of having a white block. You'll probably have white boards, so it probably will not be an issue. But if you keep in mind the PNG has the transparent background, it just gives you more flexibility, I would say. Then you're not lugging around this white sharp edge block like it's part of the composition, when really it's just your plan. Your drawings are part of the composition, okay? And then these could be a little closer, so like this whole middle void could go away. And that's for everybody. So if it doesn't leave CAD perfectly where it needs to be, it's going to have to be adjusted. But this looks nice. I think the gray looks really nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking a little pixelated on my
It-
monitor right now.
When I went to print it as a PDF, it did have blurred lines. Like, it wasn't crisp.
So that, yeah, so we could look at that later.
Okay.
Yeah. So Photoshop, it should be a PSD document, and then you're doing a file print or file save as or export. I get confused the best way out of Photoshop.
Yeah.
And you could save it as a PDF.
Yeah,
Photoshop.
yeah, that should just work.
Okay.
Yeah, we could take a closer look once we return. You guys should be getting this stuff on the board, and we could you know, open everything up. We'll check the resolution. We want to make sure all that's right before we get to week 15, obviously, when Miles is there. We don't want to make any mistakes in front of Miles. All right. Yeah, looks great. So I could see the perimeter of the section. These are beyond, nice line weights. I think it looks good. That's all that I got out of the folder a little while ago. So if yours is not there.
Did you get mine?
Yep, here it is.
What about mine?
Oh, hold on. Let me stop the share for a second. One second. Too many things open. If I got them, they didn't open. Let me just close all tabs. And where are we? Yes, I got Tatiana's. And who else was that?
Me.
Eleni? Yes. Sorry, I try to open up 18 things at once and it doesn't always work. Okay, let's go back and screen one. Yeah, these Zoom bars are annoying. So this is Lilani's. And in general, from a distance, from this distance, it looks a little dark actually, but let's get a little closer. Yeah, so this is correct with the walls, second floor walls, not cut through. Yeah, hatches look good. Looks good. If anything, I would say the furniture is one notch dark. One notch. Some of these things, maybe the beds, the counters, like if you could bring it down one notch, if you were to go back to CAD, just that's how they're looking to me on my screen here. Same like with this hatch, dark. The walls look good. These look really good. This section, this part looks really nice. That all looks really good. Yeah, this hatch looked better than the one below it. But it could be the zooming. No, it is. You see, so dark. Yeah, dark. So maybe just one more trip through AutoCAD just to fine tune that. Probably just, I don't know, these should be on the same layer, really. I don't know why they wouldn't be. But then maybe that medium layer, whatever surrounding the furniture, maybe come down just a little bit. And last but not least, Tatiana, nice ground lines. Very nice. And tilting away from the building to get the water away. Nice. And look at that detail. Nice looking page. You might, if you don't have to, you don't have to go back to CAD. I'm just saying, if we get to this level and we could be extra picky, you might draw those with a little more dimension than single line. Single line is like how it shows up on a construction drawing. So it's kind of strange that there'd be this level of detail and then a single line for that. Like just seeing a single line on a presentation drawing is odd, I think.
Okay.
But getting super picky now, which is the name of the game. And then make this solid outside. Yeah, it probably belongs in a box, at least that dark. Or that dark, not darker, not darker.
Should we put the detail on our board if we have it?
Yeah, yeah, put everything on the board to start, and then and remember that things are going to have to stay together. So like here, this board's going to have to get dissected. So this is going to be, and yeah, so this is going to be one drawing, and it's going to hopefully remain at the same scale as this drawing. This guy, so if you do go back into CAD, you might get a smaller graphic scale. That one looks a little big. In general, your graphic scales should be probably just a little bit bigger than your text at most. This looks like if there's one size down from here, I would grab it, put it down there, north arrow, you know, that could float up here. But think for those of you who are going back to CAD, and it's a quick trip for all of you, think about cutting it out in Photoshop like I am here as being the next step, for moving towards InDesign. So this is going to end up being 3 things that are chopped out pretty much. And they all need to be 300 DPI and at least the size they're going to show up on the board. So, again, we have a 24 by 36-inch board. So this drawing, I would say that any of these drawings are going to be, I would allow them to be at least 12 inches wide. Is that too much, Michael?
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, that's the widest they would be. They wouldn't be any wider than 12. If they're 8, that would suffice probably. And then you could think of the board kind of in thirds. I mean, I'm thinking about this guy, like an 8-inch width on what could be a 24-inch width board. Obviously, if your drawings and your views in SketchUp lend themselves, they might go horizontal. But regardless, somewhere, in the 8 to 12 inch for the smaller dimension, I would say. This guy's going to want to be at least probably 6 by 6 inches. It probably won't be that big on the final board, but that's rounding up, I would say. Okay. All right. I went past my 10 minutes. But they look really, really good. So nice, nice note to end on. Any questions, concerns, comments? Ready for a break?
Just have to do the work now, so.
Yeah. We'll get a break in there somewhere. Just
Yeah.
some work before, some work after, but get a
I
break.
took a winter class, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have. So anything else, Michael?
That's it.
All right. So have a great break, and we'll see you in 1 week from now.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy. Happy holidays.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Stern, are you still there?
Yes. Hey,
Hi. So in regards to I'm sorry. I think this is actually a question for David.
well, we're both here.
The registration for Studio 3 is David that's teaching that, right?
Like I mentioned,
Studio 3.
Tony and I are going to co-teach it, but yeah, just sign up for Studio 3.
So does that give us credit for Design Studio 4 as well?
No, you have to take Studio 4 after.
Oh, okay. So we got to do 3 first and then.
Sure. It changes nothing in your path.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question because I signed up for Studio 3, but it wasn't allowing me to do Studio 3 and 4 because it's the same time.
No. No.
All right.
Another semester.
Okay.
All right. Have a good holiday.
Thank you.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
Do we have to send something for next week or?
What's the drop?
The AutoCAD file.
No, not in AutoCAD. No, just open it and check out the size. And so yours was the one that was very small.
On a big sheet.
Yeah. So did you understand what I was saying, that last part about the size of the board, and we just have to make sure that they're big enough?
Yes.
Okay, that's the only concern.
All right.
So, you don't have to resubmit anything. We could look at it again next week.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Yeah.
I have one more question, please, just about I want to take another class for the spring. Is ADC 163? I think they don't have it for January.
No, we're not running a Revit class. That's the digital documentation. We're not running it next semester. Summer 1, or again next fall.
So there's nothing to take for January, because if I will take the 260 advanced presentation technique, I have to take 163 first, so they don't have it. So
For what? You're taking 260?
I want to take 163 and 260, but if they don't have 163, it's not possible to take just 260 because they go together. Or
Not really. What degree are you going after? The
yeah,
visualization?
I want to get the certificate.
Visualization.
Yeah,
So what do you think about him taking 260 next semester?
if it's possible, I will take it. But I thought that I have to take 163 first, or take them both.
Michael's teaching it. He'll let you know. Let's
Well, the
listen.
question is you have to have a certain critical mass of work. People don't get, if you don't have a lot of different varieties of work, you don't get that much out of the course. I'm curious, do you have any work previous to community college that you might include in your portfolio?
Actually, I studied few classes in English and one on networking. That's it.
But no architecture, no.
No.
Because I'm, as much as I would love you to take the course and that, you know, you show a high level of skill, you've only taken CAD. What courses have you taken in our department? You've taken AutoCAD. You've taken
AutoCAD 103.
103. You've taken 160.
Yeah, and 160. That's it.
Now,
That's it.
so it's probably better next summer, take Revit 1 in summer 1, Revit 2 in summer 2, and then you return to the portfolio class with a whole lot more work to make a portfolio. It's hard to make you can't make a good portfolio without the work, really.
Yeah, that really just 2 semesters of work is not enough.
You should take color and lighting with Michael though, because we could substitute that for 273,
273.
the animation class that we're not running right now. So if you want to do something, I would jump in on color and lighting. We'll do a substitute because that 273 is just, we're having trouble running it remotely.
Oh, for the January?
Yeah. 192 color and lighting, and you'll get into more SketchUp and yeah, so it's very relevant. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
That's a
Because
good
I want to
substitute.
waste more time, you know, because like 4 months, so it's like too much time without doing nothing, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And color and lighting will produce portfolio pieces for you, which is what you want.
Is 192 you said?
192, yeah.
192. Okay.
Yeah.
And very nice work so far.
Yeah, we'll substitute that for the animation class if we need to. I mean, you might want the animation class. We're just having trouble running it for remotely. It's not a great class to run.
Okay.
So if you finish everything else first, or no, if you take color and lighting, we could do the substitution. I would never make you take another class. So yeah, that'll be a substitution. All right.
Okay. Have a nice holiday. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Yeah, S's model looked great.
Yeah, I was blown away actually, because I was like pulling my hair out figuring out how to make this work. But yeah, nice group. I mean, few people that are struggling, but
How far along are they on the hut? They're like halfway there, or
mostly they followed